go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Monday, November 20th, 2023. This is Markets in the Morning, where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price chart, which we have up here on the front of the screen right here in front of you. We'll take a look over there at the stock market as it gets set to open up here in the next 4 minutes. And we'll take a look, of course, over there at the altcoin market. We'll look at XRP, the altcoin market caps. We'll take a look over there at the United States stock market, along with the DXY, gold, silver, maybe, I don't know. Take a peek over there at the financial news that's going on and crypto-related news as we get ready for the markets to open here for the United States and we get ready for our week to begin. Now, this week is Thanksgiving week here in the United States, so this will be a short week. There will be some stock market closures this week due to that holiday. Even here on the Blockchain Backer YouTube channel, we will have a light, tight, and bright, quick week this week. I will be here Monday through Wednesday. It's today through this Wednesday. And we'll even keep these Markets in the Morning a little bit brief as I'm working on some videos, interviews, and stuff like that on the back end here. And just kind of keeping it nice and easy as we head into this holiday week. When we get back from the holidays, we're right back into the grind, all the chaos of markets, but we'll keep it pretty chill here this week. So let's go ahead and kick it off as we get ready for the stock market to open up in here. Quite a mix over there in the United States stock market. I'm sure you guys all heard about the OpenAI, Microsoft, crazy, wild weirdness going on over there. We'll touch bases on that. But let's go ahead and dive into crypto. So throughout the weekend, Bitcoin got back above $37,000. Mixed over there in the altcoin market, still marching along here. We've been watching this thing and really, we understood this way back in here, that it was really just like back in 2020 before things got really ramped up. The market, I tried to tell that story that whole time. This is where the term spicy BCB was derived from in this time period, because when I went through 2020 in here, I remembered it being exactly like everything we had just gone through in here, where this time the market screamed manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. So I kept saying, waiting for people to kind of say that, which they never ended up doing. But it was the same mindset of them there of how many people were calling for 12K. Back in 2020, it's just not talked about anywhere at all. Before we ended up ramping up and going into the all-time highs, half the market was looking for us to go back to 3K in here, looking for us to go down to $3,000 again. And this is when Bitcoin's $10,000. It never happened. Market took off without it. We ended up getting the breakout happening in here. And then the thought process in here is like, if we're actually going to do something like that, it'd probably take about a month. Well, guess what? Today's day number 27 of being in here. So if this thing's going to ramp up and get ready to go, it sure seems like we're kind of at that point of figuring that out and having that happen. Today, I'm going to try to put together a video really talking just about all the Bitcoin resistances and scenarios and just where we're at, right? It's a complicated situation over there in the United States stock market. It's complicated over here in Bitcoin. We're just going to kind of outlay all of those things. I think we're all cheering, of course, for Bitcoin to go soaring. If you're like a XRP maximalist, or if you're an altcoin maximalist, you own zero Bitcoin, it should still be in your thesis that you want Bitcoin to go soaring to the upside, because that's always mandatory. So, cheering for that, not cheering for us to just waddle here for 7 months, or God forbid, this be the Ethereum scenario like we talked about the whole time, where you get back up into these areas right in here and then just kerplunk. So definitely cheering for this week, fingers crossed, we can actually get a break, actually come here in Bitcoin. And I think enough time has elapsed. I think structurally, enough structures have elapsed in here for it to finally be able to do it. So in the beginning, we said, you know what, just patience, probably about a month to be in here, 27 days, guys. So we're there. Let's see if we can go ahead and get it to get moving right now. Now, with it being a shorter week, of course, it's a great opportunity to check out bcbacker.com to watch a bunch of videos from me. I've got over 40 videos over here, over 11 hours of content, deep diving into the historical behavior of the cryptocurrency market, teaching you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators in TradingView and CoinTrader Pro, and teaching you a lot of cool stuff like Wyckoff accumulation, Elliott wave theory, and stuff about, tokenomics and developer data and how that impacted which coins went higher, during the 2021 bull run from the top 30, and how that could have weeded stuff down. But I really break everything down. It's very similar to my YouTube channel. This thing's $39 one time. It's no recurring fees. It's not a subscription service. There's no repetitive payments, whatever you want to call it. But I do have a subscription-based newsletter over here, and this one's great if you haven't had an opportunity to read this. These last two newsletters that I put out have been huge hits, doing altcoin analytics and trying to figure out what happened in 2021, why the market was so different from what we saw back in 2017, and how the number of coins that went up was really only about 1 out of 5, right? About 20%. But were there things that we could have paid attention to that would have improved those odds to say 40%, 50%, 60%, something like that? And it does seem that there's some particular data that you can look at when it comes to understanding which coins have high development activity, which ones have declining and increasing developers. And also percentage drawdowns seem to play a big role in it. So my opinion, these past two newsletters have been probably the best ones that I've ever done. But yeah, so you can check that out at blockchainbacker.substack.com. There's a link in the description of this live stream, and I just posted it over there in the chat. So, okay, it looks like we're getting a little bit of improvement here on Bitcoin as the morning is getting started and the stock market has opened. Now at 37,174. Had to switch that title a little bit on the naming of this live stream. It says Bitcoin at $37,000 in the live stream. Before I started, I was like, Bitcoin above 37,000. Before we went live, it went down to like 36,800. I'm like, well, better modify that to at. Looks like we are back above $37,000 now again as we get ready to kick off this shortened holiday week here in the United States. Looking over here at the stock market now that it is open, lots of chaos over there over the weekend when it came to Microsoft. We'll probably dive into that here in a little while. But looking at the actual opening here for the stock market, flat for the Dow Jones, up 2 points. Friday, the Dow Jones closed up 1 point. So it closed up 1 point on Friday, and here we are opening up Monday, pretty flat, right? Looking over here at the S&P, flat as well, up 2 points. The NASDAQ a little bit better, up 0.28%. The big chaos of the weekend dealing with Microsoft and OpenAI, ChatGPT, all that stuff. We'll get into that here in a little while. Looking at gold struggling now, back at the retracement levels, still just a struggle. Hey, we're getting ready for Black Friday. All those deals are going to start pushing out right now. You guys probably know it. I've been patiently waiting for Black Friday to arrive. The spot price has unfortunately gone up during this time period, but we're getting a little bit of a pullback this morning over here in precious metals. So a lot of deals will start showing up today, but as we get closer and closer to Black Friday, especially Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday Day, a lot of those online retailers, the reputable ones, will mark stuff down. So I think if you went on a really hardcore shopping adventure right now, you could probably get silver rounds for about $1.99 over spot, which is pretty good. But I am going to be on the hunt to see if I can get silver rounds for less than $1 over spot. So that's really what my goal is for Black Friday. Holding off today, wanting to take action today because we've got some red over there in silver, pulling it down a little bit. What is silver down? It's down 35 cents today per ounce. But I'm personally going to be looking for it to go to get those premiums down a little bit. The DXY, of course, has been in a fall. We remember we watched this one live, and we're like, look, if any of these fibs matter, which it tends to be most of the time, they don't matter here for the U.S. dollar currency index. The only one that we have spotted any reactions ever happening with DXY previously has been the 50% level. And we did end up watching that one live. And then we watched this wick happen. I can't remember what happened, what news it was that occurred in the middle of the stream that gave us that wick. We're sitting here talking all about DXY, all about it. And oh, so here we are. We're talking blah, 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 blah. Then it just plows right through it, but then it takes it right back. But it does appear the 50% retracement level has been the struggle here for the DXY. as it has been in here. For crashing structures, right? So I often talk about crashing structures a lot. I even teach about that over here on bcbacker.com, or where is it? BCB crashing structure right there. There's a video dedicated to it. And of course, we talked about it in the video I made you watch for the third time last week, talking about crashing structures in there. But when it comes to the crashing structure, it's very difficult to identify it very early in it, because it can morph and then it just turns out it wasn't it. It's usually after you get, where do you have to get? You end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we end up seeing our 5 subwaves come in here, and then we can confirm it. It's not until we're like way down here that you can be like, okay, that is what it is. But like, so I look here and I'm like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. The trick with the problem with the crashing structure is it can totally be something totally different until it has played out this whole nasty, nasty move. So I see similarities to it, but I know it can trick at the last second and not end up being that. If this thing said popped up here and went to 104.75 or it even got back to that base, boom, it's not a crashing structure. It just ends up being something totally different. But right now, so far, it sure does look like that we would be in wave 3 of wave 5. And so if we end up getting that, that's kind of like, that's just where my eyes go to immediately right now for the US dollar currency index. We'll see how it keeps going. If we get a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playing out in here, what ends up happening with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What do we end up doing? Rolling back up to wave 4 within wave 5. Boom, 7. That's the bottom. That's the end of the move for the DXY. Then it goes back up. So we'll keep our eyes on that if that continues to go. But that's just what I'm seeing right now, at least. Total 3. Altcoin market over here. I can't recall how the weekend did. I don't feel like I was... I wasn't staring at charts tremendously this weekend. It just looks obviously like, what are we doing? The sign of strength phase, right? In Wyckoff accumulation, what do you do? Sign of strength. You've seen this drawn out many a times. What do they do in the sign of strength phase? They just do that. Let me see if I can find it, if I still have it pasted on any of these things. Do we have it over here? Do we have it over here? There you are. Let's grab you. Right. So in our sign of strength, it's just a nasty little working out here, right? And just kind of waiting for us to go ahead and get a break to move on from there. So still just a little bit of a washing machine happening in here, struggling in here at the sign of strength, hoping that we can get our breakout to come at some point. As for the dominances, right, the safety trade dominance, it's been top since June. It's been the thoughts on it over here. Still waiting on here. Like I said, in here, I was like, this thing could pause out for, 3 weeks or so. If we kind of moved at that same velocity, it'd be stopped out in here for 3 weeks. Sure enough, it has been. How long has it been? Let's go look. How long are we in here? I would say our range begins here. About 13 days. So I'd call it a week and a half. I'd say probably a week and a half that we've been stuck in here. Probably still some more. It's just going to keep, it's just kind of normal. We break the supports, then we kind of chill underneath them for a little while before we can end up breaking down another level in here. But otherwise, if you've been tuning into Markets in the Morning into the YouTube videos for the last June, July, August, September, October, November, 5 months, this has been the thought, and so far so good, but just kind of in a stagnation period here before we can get another big push up there in the altcoin market. And when that day comes and that euphoria does come, I will be expecting a pretty decent sized correction to come after that. So euphoria, excitement. But remember, even if this is, right, and I'm not going to say it is, but even if it was, massive bull run, right? We're on our way to absolute crazy town. They've all been sprinkled with 60% corrections all the way up, where it's just brutally bad, right? So those things do happen, and I will not expect any different. I will not think this time is different. I will expect that 60% corrections will come again, and we'll have those end up happening. So just kind of waiting for this to get another leg down. That another leg down is where I think we'll see probably extreme greed happen in the market. I haven't checked the fear and greed index in some time. Right now it's in greed, right? So how long did it take us to get into greed? Quite a while. So we've seen the highest greed in the market since November of 2021. Which, I mean, it doesn't mean we're too greedy, right? Like extreme greed is where it gets carried away. And it makes sense, right? This has been, the market has just been sitting at the lows of brutality for such a long time. It makes sense that we haven't seen greed of these levels for some time. But it's that extreme greed to be careful. So right now the fear and greed index is at a 69. It's really when we get back up there into the 90s where that's usually run for the hills. But we'll look for all those things in the event that time does come. And then I'll be expecting a correction. Always remember, in crypto, 90% of the time is spent in torture. 10% of the time is spent in fun. And it's always been like that. It will not be different. 10% of the time is fun. 90% of the time is torture. But hopefully we're on our marks, our way up here. So one thing I'm going to talk about in today's video that I'm going to put out is we're going to be talking about one, the whole Ethereum thing, right? Where, this is exactly where Ethereum got to in 2018. Then it rolls over and takes out the lows. For Bitcoin to do something like that, that's that whole $2,000, $3,000 scenario where Bitcoin goes and takes out the lows of 2018. We're at that resistance level right now. So how do we get through here, right? And it's like, okay, well, go back and like what was going on in the market in this time period right in here, right? What was happening broadly? And I'm not talking narratives. I don't care about narratives. I don't care about the Fed printing money, and I don't care about QE. I don't care about the government spending. I don't care about stimulus checks. What I care about is what was the stock market doing, right? And so we'll talk really in depth about this in the video, but I'll throw it on here, right? Right. This is where we are, right? And so the breakout that we've just experienced is all of this stuff in here, right? All of this, like this. I'm going to lose it. Okay. Right. That's all right here. That's right here. So what do we have with the stock market, right? Stock market has gotten back. The Dow Jones has gotten back into retracements, right? Retracement level has gotten above them. We saw that happen with the Dow Jones Industrial Average already right now, right? We've seen it get above. We've seen it get above retracement levels in here, right? Right, above, then way below, yuck. But heading back over here, what ends up occurring? If we can get this on here. There we go. So it's like imagining Bitcoin being in here, and more in particular, Bitcoin really kind of being right here, right? And so for us to go rampaging, what happens here? What happens in the move in the stock market? It goes back to its all-time high. So this is the moment in time where the Dow Jones goes back to its all-time high, and that gives Bitcoin the juice to go as well, right? So that's kind of like where we're at. Like, here we are, same scenario style thing. Here we are. Can the Dow get the juice to go? That's the scenario that did happen for this to keep marching up. If the Dow plummets on itself, do you think that's going to happen? I don't. So come on Dow, come on stock market. So we'll talk way more in depth about that in today's videos. We'll tie into the NDXT, the NASDAQ 100 technology sector. We'll just kind of go digging through all the different scenarios and talk more about that. But it's really kind of like where we're at right now for this. The scenarios are very similar in that, you had already gotten through all retracements here in the Dow. We had done big pullbacks, but then as we're in here, right, that's this moment right there. That right there is that right there. You could see, boom, it went for the all-time high, right? And so if we can get this puppy to go, you open a little bit of hope and optimism there for La Bitcoin. All right, DXY 103.53, total three, $416 billion, still in that sign of strength phase, just stuck in there as expected. But we'll just have to wait. I don't have a time frame on that. I mean, we can guess 3 weeks, but I don't know. Get Bitcoin to break out. That's the first thing. If you get the stock market to go, and if you get Bitcoin to go, buckle up. I mean, that's just it. As for XRP, not a whole lot to say about XRP in here. The pull down that we saw happen throughout last Friday, and let's see, when was this? This was Friday, right? So like kind of thinking about what was it like as we were escaping this range, right? Again, we got to forget about all the news that happened in here because the rest of the market didn't do this. The rest of the market did just that. It's like we escaped the range, right? You know that when we talked about it when it happened, hey, we got our first, like, the first thing we were focusing on in here is we're focusing on, hey, can we get daily closes that close higher than any daily closes that we've had? Yes, we did. And then when we came back for our back test, even our back test closed above the highest daily candle close. So we found daily candle close supports throughout here, taking out the whole range in here, right? Then the next phase was we took out the highest weeks of the range. Right, so this Friday test was the test of that. Is that good enough? Hard to say. My thoughts would probably be with how deep we've gone already. I mean, it just seems probable that we revisit there, but we have already really kind of tested it as support with daily candle closes. So I'm going to remain indifferent just for the moment because we've gotten back to retracement levels, and we really, 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 sorry XRP holders, you need to see Bitcoin go. So if Bitcoin can end up going, that would be the first sign of like extreme optimism for XRP. I think there was supposed to be some ISO 20022 thing this weekend. I don't know, did it get delayed or did it not? I don't follow that. I don't play that game. It is a cryptocurrency in the cryptocurrency market, looking for liquidity to come into the whole crypto market together. All right, still waiting on the dominance to fall. I think there's still just going to be stalling in here for just a minute, which would make sense that we have this happening. The first thing we need to see is Mr. Bitcoin go for the big break and prove that we are not going to get stopped here at 38K as the similar price action of Ethereum did in 2018. But seeing the DXY fall, hey man, not a bad sign to be seeing that. All right, moving on. So let's touch on this again. The stock market, as it gets open today, the Dow Jones is up 29 points, slight improvement from being perfectly flat at the opening, which it was at the close of Friday as well. S&P is up 8 points, and the NASDAQ is up 0.43%. The big winners of the morning so far, Coinbase, ARK, and Meta. Then you got Microsoft, the chaos happening over there, almost as if it was pre-planned. I don't know, that didn't smell funny to you, the whole open AI thing that happened after the markets closed and resolved itself all throughout the weekend? Bizarre. But Caterpillar, United Health, and Google, the losers of the morning. All right, it's going to be the headline everywhere. Ousted OpenAI head Sam Altman to lead Microsoft's new AI team. So Microsoft is like the biggest investor in OpenAI. It really has the smell of Microsoft just threw a grenade into OpenAI to destroy it, and that they're really just going to be opening like Microsoft AI is really what it kind of sounds like to me from just the way everything has kind of played out in here. The story is just, it smells funny. It smells really, really, really bizarre. It almost seems like this is a move by Microsoft to open up their own AI, and they're taking the whole open AI team. And it also makes Microsoft look good. Like, hey, we got the open AI guys because we care, but they're also the biggest investor in open AI. It's almost like they self-sabotaged open AI to bring that whole team over to create something under the Microsoft brand. That's kind of what it smells like to me of what's actually happening in here. But yeah, who is new CEO of OpenAI? Emmett Shear. Sounds like he's the bad guy. CEOs have a new favorite word, choiceful. Okay. Cool story. Altman joins Microsoft after OpenAI replaces him with ex-Twitch CEO. So you pretty much had to be sleeping under a rock to not see this news everywhere. I guess if you're not on social media, maybe you didn't hear about it, but I'm sure people talking about it in YouTube videos and whatnot. But yeah, bizarre. Argentina assets jump after I don't know how to pronounce his name because I don't watch. Somebody got me. They're like, I know that you don't actually watch the news because you don't know how to pronounce any of these countries that are Hamas, right? I guess you don't pronounce it as Hamas, or I don't know. I don't know his name. We'll call him Malay. Malay? After Malay's election victory, Argentinian assets, of course, people in the crypto community and Bitcoin community absolutely lose their mind that a third world, fourth world, fifth world country has, no offense to Argentina, right? I know Argentinians, but the economic state of Argentina will have zero impact on the price of Bitcoin. But it's just like the El Salvador story back in 2021. That story was really grappled onto by Bitcoiners to make it seem like Bitcoin was going to become the next big thing because of El Salvador. It was the top signal. It marked the top. It marked the end. Are you getting the same thing used on you, Bitcoiners? It doesn't mean anything. They're going to the U.S. dollar, right? He may be pro Bitcoin because he hates leftists. He hates what they've done with the monetary policy, and that Bitcoin makes more sense than what Argentina has done. But they're going to the U.S. dollar, so cool your jets. Bitcoin nears pre-halving target zone toward $50,000 Bitcoin price. Bitcoin ETF approval nearing, but brace for more setbacks. No, not more ETF setbacks. I can't take it. OpenAI investors push for Sam Altman's return as CEO report. DYDX founder claims targeted attack to 9 million insurance fraud. Okay. Another thing, Tether froze the assets of like $250 million today in coordination with the United States government and OKX to help like stop a human trafficking ring or something like that. I did retweet that over there on my Twitter this morning. So you'll see that about $250 million worth of Tether accounts have been frozen, linked to this human trafficking stuff. All right, Javier Milei, don't know how to pronounce his name, wins Argentine presidency. Bitcoin gains nearly 3%. Sorry, guys, no. Sam Altman, former OpenAI CEO, lands at Microsoft. Yeah, this is bizarre. All right, looking over there at Fed. Rate hikes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are paused. We are in the paused period of markets. Of course, like we've gone through a lot of this stuff, right? Over the years, over the last year and a half, talking about Fed hiking, cutting, and pausing cycles. Historically, the pause has been good, right? This has been a time of good stuff for markets. Sometimes even the first cut, even the first two cuts can actually be okay. But that is the last hurrah. When the cuttings begin, it is the sign of doomtown incoming. Will we get the same scenario happening in there? Who knows? But that is what has happened over the last 25 years. Once the cutting starts, game over. But the pausing period has historically been very friendly to markets. So, you got 99.8% probability that we're paused, 0.2% probability that they'll cut, with a 0% probability that they're going to do a hike at the next meeting in 23 days from right now, which will be on December 13th. So the pause continues. That will make 4 out of the last 5. That'll also make 3 in a row. We're paused, right? The market knows it. The market's priced it in. The Fed is done. The thing is just how long will we be like that? How long will we be paused, right? And a lot of times they don't start cutting until S is hitting the fan. The last couple of times they've done it kind of into the last rally, the last hurrah. And we'll keep our eyes on it. But either way, we're in the pause, and we've done enough research on this. We've dispelled all the myths of all the people saying don't fight the Fed. We fought against all of that. That's stupid. that, when they're hiking, that still has been okay for markets. They've hiked all year, right? Or they've hiked for the last year and a half. Markets have been rallying since October of last year, over a year now. And the first 75 basis point rate hike that they did actually marked the bottom. But what we also know is wrong with that is that people who are thinking when the Fed starts cutting, that's good. It's not. We've gone through it many times. It's not. It's been the end. Okay. But the pause, we've shown it over and over again. The last 3 hiking and cutting cycles, they all had pauses before they ended up going into the cutting cycle, and the pauses were okay. And we're in the pause, and probably about 3 months into a pause at this point, potentially 4. So, all right, there you go. Bitcoin, 37,375 as the stock market gets opened. We have more green over here in the crypto market now as we get ready to go. Fingers crossed we get our way out of there. Maybe I record this super long video and then it becomes completely obsolete by the time it gets ready to go live. That would be best case scenario. I was throw it in the trash can and say, hey, there's no point. So, all right, 37,300, almost at 37,400. Stock market's doing okay. Dow's up 30 points, S&P's up 10, NASDAQ's up 96. Where's Microsoft? There you go, 1.5%. You have Google, United Health, and Caterpillar, and Roblox. Those are all kind of struggling in the red. Everything else in the green over there in the stock market. Yields are up slightly today, almost negligent to even say that they're up. I'd call it flat. And precious metals are slightly down, but improving based on what we saw when markets in the morning started and as the stock market opened. So gold has come back a little bit. If you remember, silver was down about 35 cents, now only down about 25 cents as I get ready for my Black Friday holiday shopping for La Metals. US dollar currency index 103.53. Far away from 106. Hip, hip, hooray. So that is optimistic, being so far away from 106. You saw the markets got real dicey up there above 106, didn't they? That's where Dow was pulling back. It was all crazy. Stock market's pulling back. Then we get back below 106 and everything's super, super YOLO. $417 billion over here for the altcoin market. Come on, still waiting for that sign of strength, consolidation to see if we can get our breakout and escape to end up happening in here. So we've been just finally finding that struggle right here at the peak, as you normally would. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we start our Monday for our shortened holiday week. So I will be here Monday through Wednesday. And then this guy is going to be off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you guys. So enjoy life. Take it easy. If you're at work, I hope you're just like totally checked out of work. You're like, dude, I'm not doing anything. I got my headphones in. Screw this. I'm checked out. Hopefully you're not even at work this week, but you're still hanging out here. But otherwise, Thanksgiving, of course, it's time just to be thankful for what you have. And I know that sounds very cheesy to say, but it is how people ask all the time, how can I remain so emotionally stable through all types of events, right? Ups or downs, and in particular those downs when they get really crummy. And it's really just remaining in a state of gratitude in my life and recognizing things aren't so bad. The situation may suck a little bit, but the cold, hard reality is I have a roof over my head, I have food to eat, I have water to drink, I have somewhere to sleep, I'm somewhere warm or cool if it's hot outside, right? And I have people who love me, and those are the main things that matter in life. Everything else is just icing on the cake, and whether or not. But the cold hard reality is having the people that you love, having somewhere to sleep, having food to put in your mouth, and water. Those are the primary sources of your happiness. If you take any of those things away, you are very, very, very miserable and living a really crappy life. And so remaining in that state of gratitude, I think Thanksgiving gives you that opportunity to kind of reflect on that for a minute and just think about it for a minute. If you didn't have any of those things, how crappy life would be. If you didn't have a vehicle to drive to work or run errands and do stuff like that, how much that would suck. So life is good. All right, let's start wrapping it up as Bitcoin's trying to get, hopefully, fingers crossed, get out of there, Bitcoin. I've been seeing Pat going nuts out there, brother. Pat, you've been dropping membos like crazy, man. Thank you, sir. I've got one spot that says you've given 40, and I've got another spot that says you've given 20. But geez, Pat, thank you, man. Crazy. Cash Me Outside started it first before we even got the stream fired up, and he got one in there 20 minutes before the stream even went live. Cash Me Outside, my brother Tweak. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Michael J. Love. By the way, Cash Me Outside was one who helped me with a lot of the data that was pulled in this one. Getting that data pulled to figure out drawdowns and stuff. Cash Me Outside's cool cat. Thank you, sir. Michael J. Love, hit the like button. It is free. Michael J. Love, thank you very much. We have over 2,000 people in here and 743 likes. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 before I wrap this thing up. Jerome T., thank you very much, sir. He gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. And guys, if you get gifted these memberships, please thank the people who hooked you up. You know, they had to pay $5 to get you one. So thank you, guys. Mr. J says Ethereum retrace to 618786 would be 400 to 475 billion market cap. XRP market cap fib extension market cap of 447 billion would be around 3.618. Very close. Yeah, I've done whole videos on that before, showing that. Like, I think a full 4.236 extension market cap for XRP is at the 786 retracement of Ethereum's market cap currently right now. So it'd be like Ethereum back into a retrace, XRP catches up. Maybe. We'll see. I sure hope so. Michael J. Love gifted a BCB membership. Michael J. Love, thank you very much. And Mr. Jace, thank you for the super chat. Blockfella says, BCB, what's up? Thanks for all that you do. It's super busy at work. I'm always lurking on demand and liking all the videos. God bless you, my man. Blockfella, what's going on, man? It's been a little while. Thank you. Thank you very much for always being here, for always listening, and for the support. I'm sorry that you are having to work super busy, and hopefully you do get a break this week. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Pat, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Philip Mann gifted a BCB membership as well. Oscar Hernandez, my man. Oh, did you show up late, Oscar? Hit the like button from Oscar. Thank you, Oscar. I appreciate it. Big supporter of the channel. Pretty much the most famous person here on the channel. Hit Flask, member for 6 months. Could you count your guppies and chart them for us? Much love from the UK. 702 crew. So I've thought about taking a picture of the fish tank and then letting you guys count them. The problem is, even if I take like a super high quality photo, you can't see them all because some of them, there's so many little ones in the back and teeny tiny ones everywhere. It's crazy. I think one of the newest things about the fish tank that I probably haven't told you guys about is that I have gotten shrimp in there. So I do have shrimp. My brother-in-law did give me a bunch of shrimp, and he gave me maybe like 10. He's given me a couple before, but it didn't go so well. But he did give me 10 this time, and he even gave me 2 that had a bunch of like eggs on their bellies and stuff. Those eggs did get laid. Those shrimp did get hatched. I have all different kinds of shrimp in there now. I've got orange shrimp. I've got black shrimp. I've got yellow shrimp. I've got red shrimp. I've got like ghost shrimp. I got all kinds of shrimp in the fish tank now. That's kind of cool. But I can't seem to find my assassin snails ever since I did that treatment last week. I haven't seen them in a few days, and I did notice another, like one of those pestering kind of snails. So the assassin snails are supposed to take care of all the like the pestery, super massive reproductive snails that show up that just make a fish tank ugly. The assassin snails kind of assassinate them and eat them. But I haven't seen my assassin snails in a couple of days, and I'm hoping nothing happened to them. Oscar Hernandez gifted a BCB membership. Oscar, thank you very much, my man. Appreciate it, bro. And Bet AIDS, member for 3 months, says, BCB, I hope you will do videos after the bull run. Please don't close the channel. Nah. It just, where my efforts will be. Blockchain backer is a part of my life. It's who I am. It's a defining characteristic of my life at this point. So I don't think that's going away at all. Just what that looks like moving, throughout the future. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Do I want to ramp it up huge and be like super mega, or do I want to tame it down a little bit and just be more chill? I don't know. I'm just kind of appreciating the moment. I kind of go at the flow and with how the wind blows. That's just kind of how it goes. But I've been here for years. We just hit over 4 years on the channel, and I've done over 1,000 videos. Still here. So, And another thing that's interesting, the one thing that's, again, that has changed a lot for me is, going to these in-person events and meeting people in real life. So one of the things that always kept me consistent with making YouTube videos and being present almost every day is my own viewing habits on YouTube. And that my wife and I watch YouTube more than we watch Netflix, more than we watch Hulu, Disney Plus, or anything like that. We put YouTube on the TV as we get into bed, and we check the subscriptions. We have an account where we're only subscribed to things that we kind of both like. And when somebody posts something, we get super excited about it. Like last night, there was this one that got posted. This person hasn't posted for 2 weeks. We were super pumped that they posted. And I know how I feel when somebody that I like watching posts new content. Like I get thrilled about it. And it became apparent to me that, or when I'm watching my coin roll hunting videos, as you guys know, I like my silver and my gold videos and coin roll hunting and treasure hunting and that stuff. When they post new videos, I get really pumped. And I realized I was that to a lot of people. That like there are people who get excited when I post videos, people who like a video before they end up even watching it. They like the live stream before I even get started. And like I am that in other people's lives. And I recognize that responsibility and that role of what I play because of what I like. For me, I have my content creators that I really like to watch, and I had recognized I somehow had become that. And when you get a chance to meet people in person and they tell you that too, and we're not just talking like 2 people, we're talking hundreds. It's heartwarming, and it's a defining characteristic of my life. So being worried about me just running off, I think we've had over 4 years for that to happen. This is who I am. I am BCB. And I don't know if it will ever happen. I highly doubt it, and I'm not going to put pressure on myself to ever hit 1 million subscribers on here. It would take extreme market conditions for that to happen. It's very apparent. But if that happened, that would be pretty dang cool. It'd be dang hard though, because I'm too spicy a lot of the time, and some people might not like that. All right, I'm moving on. Thank you, BetAids. JB Estrada, a member for 1 month, says, BCB, could you do a video going into detail on how you're preparing your stuff for what might be coming next? Your ministry has just been amazing. Thank you so much. Ministry, I'm guessing you mean course. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, so like we're entering into this area where just like you're into all these retracements, right? And the market is going to decide, is it going to go mega bull, or are we running out of steam, or is some black swan going to show up because we're getting to areas for the stock market where black swan could show up at some point when we get to the 4.236 or now or whenever, right? Any event could occur. But how you can't play. So what typically happens with retail is they get really, really YOLO into retracement levels. That's just what they do. They get wrong-footed at the bottom. They wait for lower prices to end up coming. And then we get all the way back into retracement levels, and they realize that never came. And so then they want to buy the market for it to go to the moon. But the thing is, we are now getting back into all the danger retracement levels. I mean, they all reside through here, to 52, all the way down to where we are right now. We're finally back at them. And so just gradually getting, for me, like, normally I wouldn't put any shorts in the stock market. It's just not something that I do, really ever. The only reason I would even do them right now, that I have a couple of them, I have them on Microsoft and I have them on Apple, which is a small percentage amount of it. And I hope it gets blown out and goes to zero, because that would have meant that the stock market ripped, and that would have meant that crypto ripped, and my crypto bags just plowed away. My crypto bags only have to go up like 3% to make up for any losses that occur in the stock. I don't even think it's 3%. It might be like 2%. 2% to make up for anything that happens to me on any short positions in the stock market. But, gradually building some cash positions and shorts or things that I've been doing to kind of offset. Like still like long as can be, but mindful of like situations that could happen that would be negative and maybe that things aren't going to be as positive as they could be, right? The first major problem that would end up happening in here is if we do go break below 31,800 and we just like start closing stuff down here in the 28s and the 27s. I mean, that's just dangerous. I mean, it's just not good for crypto. But you know, at that point, it just becomes a situation of, okay, it's time to preserve some capital. I'm going to reduce a little bit of risk because I don't have a clear view of what's going on here. If we go down below here right now, this will be different from every recovery that we've ever ended up having. And so far, we've been playing very, very in tune with how recoveries would occur. If we go break down and start getting into the 27s or something, guess what? That whole Ethereum thing that we talked about for years is playing along to that tune. So far, not at all. This is still very viable, especially if stock market goes roaring up and gets back to highs, which was what actually happened at this time when we were in this same scenario last time in 2020, is that we were in here, pulled out of here, and got to the all-time highs. So for me, it's just going to be about a lot of the assets that I'm watching and like struggles. Let's go to like silver to give you like an example here, because I think it's very similar to what you see in silver here, of what we've been seeing in the crypto market so far. And we really need to see some big names break through to start removing that concern. But like I've talked about with Chainlink, right? Chainlink was one of those ones that recently ripped up. I took some off the table on it. But it, you know, here's silver, right? It gets back into that breakdown level right over here. And then that's just where it stalls out. And we've seen that a lot throughout the crypto market. As we know, this is where XRP has gotten to right in here. That's that level. Other things that you've seen it happen in is you've seen it happen over here in Bitcoin Cash, right? You've seen Bitcoin Cash get back to that level and then stall out. And you've seen it over here in Stellar Lumens. April of 2022. Who else have we seen it in? It's been a long time. We saw Doge get there, but it's been a long time. It's been enough time for something to kind of wind up and try to break. But we just haven't had any big names get through it. What about, like, I think Litecoin got there too? See how Litecoin gets there too? But you could have completed Wyckoff, right? And like this was spring. But we've got to get through here. So like as we get back here, these are the places where I'm really like just taking some off the table because I bought all throughout the bottom. I didn't miss it. I wasn't sitting here crying about 12K. There was none of that. I was dingus long, irresponsibly dingus long, not worrying about any of that dumb stuff. And so like as we get here, a lot of this is just I got to take some out. I got to pull a little bit out because we'll definitely see 60% crash at some point. Where's it going to happen from? That's going to be the big challenge. But so far, we've definitely seen everybody has struggled back in here. Like somebody's going to mention one name in here, they're going to say, "Nuh-uh, not this one." But like your big names, right? All your big names with your big data, you know, your big ones, you know, Polkadot, Chainlink, Solana, Near Protocol, Flow, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you know, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Hedera, right? Like none of these have gotten through here yet. So this has been the really big struggle so far. And so this is just the area where I'm treating right now, like, hey, I'm building small cash positions right now, just to be ready for some type of correction happening in here. The second we start seeing 1, 2, 3 big names plowing through there, I will let down that wall of worry that there's still going to be struggles happening in there. But yeah, for something like Solana, I think it's like this, guys. I mean, I think Solana is like in one of these things, and be mindful of that. That's the way I'm treating it. Like if you're a Solana moon boy right now and you decided to FOMO in because some big content creators who like big names are telling you to do it, they're telling you, don't F it up, buy and hold. Don't worry, I'm not working for the head. I'm not working for venture capitalists. I'm totally here to help you. Like I just wouldn't be surprised if that's where you're at for Solana and you have all those big names while you're getting dumped on by FTX and all those other things. I just wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I hope not, man. Send Solana to Fahila, send it to the moon. Go for it. I'm all about it. Um, but like this is one of those ones where I think it's going to have like a 60% crash coming for it, and I think we'll see that in a lot of assets. They're going to get these big breaks up. And then they're going to end up getting these big pullbacks, right? Getting back into these like April, February levels because this is the breakout level, and that there's going to be a back test down here. And can they happen really fast or will they take a long time? It's a big question. We don't know. But when you get these big, multi-100% pumps that happen in here, retail investors all FOMO together. They all become long-term bag holders together. And then when it gets down, they all get really angry, frustrated, and mad at whoever they can find to be mad at besides themselves for buying a big freaking green candle. But it would just be very normal to go back and backtest that level at a minimum. And so I think this is the kind of stuff we're going to see here in a lot in the market. And then there would be like these violent back tests. And so I'm treating those as opportunities to just kind of take some cash off the table here. I've also been, just like I said, I've been doing silly amounts of research on the altcoin market, silly amounts of it. I know how I want my portfolio allocated. I'm fully under the impression that I am not going to have a 100% hit rate, right? But I know that the market had a 20% hit rate in 2021. What things could I have done differently to have a 65% hit rate? No one's going to get 100%. But what can you do to do better than 20, right? And we've talked about that 20% for years. And I prove it again with data in here. We just go through and data hit it hard. And so I know the things that mathematically worked in 2021, and I know how I want to allocate. And so if I get nice big fat pump of Ruskies, I want to have some capital sitting on the sideline to be able to grab the things. Where did my chart go? I lost you. Are you here? Yeah. To be able to grab the things that I think match the criteria that had a 65% probability of doing well. And I think that's how it has to be viewed moving forward. And we don't know if it's going to be a 65% probability, but the market had a 20% probability in 2021. You had a 20% chance of grabbing the ones ahead of time, accumulating in the difficult times. You had only a 20% chance of grabbing the good ones, especially if you were looking at the top 30 by market cap. If you were over there shopping on coinmarketcap.com, looking at the top 30, thinking to yourself, this is how the market is valuing these assets. The market says this is what makes them valuable. Top 30, wrong. 20% chance if you shopped in the top 30 over there on CoinMarketCap. But if you applied things like looking at developer data, if you applied things like looking at drawdowns, the odds had increased to 55 to 65%. Had you shopped from that list rather than shopping from CoinMarketCap's top 30, or just the market, whatever the top 30 by market cap are. So taking some cash, chilling for a minute, and when things that pull back, I'm gonna grab more. Like if Chainlink ever gives that big pullback, if it does, I don't know if it will. I think strong, but if it did, I'd add more. I'd have no problem adding more Chainlink to my bags. I'm heavy on Cardano. I'd have no problem adding Chainlink. And again, me liking both those two does not mean both of them are going to go. You have to have a little bit of humility in recognizing you're playing a statistics game. You're playing a probabilities game. What is the probabilities? We don't know if it's 65% here in 2023 to 2024, but we know that it's going to be better whatever the market average is. So yeah. As for my plans, it's just when we're getting back to these areas, that's really where things have been struggling at the whole market. And here's even in that similar structure here for silver, it also struggled there at that, and then comes back down to the breakout level, right? And so, yeah, and not a baby correction, $30 all the way back to what, 17? It's almost 50%. It's definitely over 40. Please, dear God, tell me I did proper math by saying that, not looking dumb. Yes, it was. It was 41%. So, hey, we just hit 1,000 likes. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm moving on. Ottawa Frank, man, if we didn't love it so much, we would ask Spicy BCB to cool your jets. Thank you very much, Ottawa Frank. Tino says, will you take profits before correction? How will you decide? Well, I think I just kind of went into that. Yeah, I'm just doing it gradually. But I'll plow it all back in, given the opportunity. And if I don't get the opportunity, I still leave enough in there that if the market flies to the upside, I'm chilling. I'm cool. It doesn't matter. I'll take it. I'll go buy me a couple more $6 t-shirts with the cash that I got. Snoopy IRL, member for 1 month. I know it's only 1 month. Maybe the next 12 months will be utterly face melting. We can wish. Thank you very much, Snoopy IRL. Welcome. Pat and Oscar's window cleaner. I've been here for longer than 4 months. I'm not logged in mostly. As a member for 4 months. Thank you very much. Thank you. David, member for 5 months. BCB, what would be the Bitcoin key levels to break to say we are not going to be in this for another 7 months? Thanks for everything from the UK. We've measured it out. Getting all the way to $52,000, $53,000, $54,000 still would be totally normal to be stuck for 7 months. I think the thing we'll be watching for is how similar can we look to maintaining this stuff happening in here. And what's the stock market doing? If the stock market hits a 4.236 extension, that's the day I'm like, no. Bad. No matter what. That's just who I am. Those are the tools that I find value in. We'll see if they end up being right, but that's where I'll S my pants. No matter what. Yeah, but I mean, getting all the way to 52, 53, 54 would be fun. It'd be totally normal to still be stuck here for 7 months, and the new range be 54,000 all the way down to 31. Andy Philpott gifted a BCB membership. Thank you very much, Andy. I appreciate it, bro. I feel like I missed somebody. Sheldon says, there's any thoughts on Zcash lately? You covered it a fair amount in 19 and 20, but I think it's been a while since I've heard you mention it. I get asked about it nonstop, bro. I think it's been a while since you've been here. Yeah, I mean, it's just moving with the market. It doesn't have it. When you look at like specific data, really a lot of the data that I've been covering in like things like this. Let me see if I still have it open. There we go. Zcash has two things going for it. One, the market average is down developer-wise 24% year over year. That's the average for the cryptocurrency market. So full-time devs are down 24% year over year. Zcash is flat at 0. No gain, no loss. But the market is down 24%. And an example of that is Ethereum is down 19% in their developers year over year, and Bitcoin is down 7% year over year. So Zcash at flat, okay, not bad. looking at like the percentage drawdown of Zcash, it is in the top 25 of the top 100 on the most shallow drawdowns. I know it sounds crazy, but most 90% of the coins in the top 100 have drawn down more than 90%. I saw somebody say the other day, my coin has drawn down 90%. Is it dead? It's like, oh, that's what every coin does. And in here, we actually go through, and I showed that in 2018, that like every coin does, there was no coins that went down less than 80% in 2018. There was zero that went down less than 80% from the top 100. And then here in 2021, 2023, it's the exact same story as what we saw over there in 2018 through 2020. But things we went through in here, so we tried to compare. We tried to do, again, test case some things that had shallower drawdowns. I wouldn't call Zcash's drawdown better than the average, but it does come in at that criteria of being less than 94%, which was a number that we had found as an interesting level here from 2018 through 2020, the coins that had fallen less than 94%. So it does fall into that category. Whether that matters, it's really borderline. The only thing that we don't have going on with Zcash is like ridiculous amounts of developer activity. Is there really a whole lot to develop on something that is just a privacy currency? I'm not sure there is a tremendous amount of development that has to be done on something like that. But you don't see a decline in developer numbers. The drawdowns are in the top quartile of the rest of the market. Those things are okay, but is it doing anything independently that's causing its own FOMO? I wouldn't say anything too spectacular happening there. But, it's got a couple of things okay with it. It doesn't have a ton of developer activity on it though. So, yeah. But in the top quartile of most shallow drawdowns, and also flat on total devs, full-time devs year over year, which is better than the market average, which is negative 24%, better than Bitcoin at negative 7%, better than Ethereum at negative 19%. So there you go. JJ Jacob says, thought on TAOs. It's actually ranked number 48. Almost hit his 4.236 extension on the Fib extension tool. Pull back to 100. Reasonable. Don't buy, guys. Bought at 53. It's ranked number 40. I'm going to pull it up on a different screen. What is it called? Okay. CoinMarketCap isn't providing any data on it anymore for some reason. So I don't know why that is. And for that, I'm not going to bring it on the screen. I'm unfamiliar with it. I don't see it on the screen. And when I see it on here, okay, yeah, they haven't reported on it. And why does CoinMarketCap not carry it? That's the weird thing. Why does CoinMarketCap not report on it? I don't know, bro. I'm not bringing that up. Sheldon said, thanks. I need to visit your website and take the new course. I promise. I'm here every day. Thanks for all that you do. Thanks, brother. Thanks for all that you put out. Thank you very much, Sheldon. Appreciate it, man. Andy Philpott gifted 5 BCB memberships. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, brother. Johnny Lawrence in the chat says, what the heck is StarkNet? I saw it has crazy development, yet I see nowhere to buy it, and their socials look like AI bots. Yeah, a lot of socials on a lot of these coins look like AI bots, and that makes it hard to weed through some garbage out there. So a lot of times when you see this development activity happening in there, especially being reported by Saint Demand or being reported by Electric Capital, they haven't had their mainnet launch yet. Examples of that is we saw really big development activity taking place over there in Celestia, which is what a lot of people are talking about, that TIA coin, TIA. And that coin just got released finally 2 weeks ago. So, but there was 6 months of at least I've been aware of it for 6 months. I had no idea the launch was coming. I wasn't following it close enough, but I happened to see it when it did get launched. And the same thing goes for SUI. SUI, there's a lot of development activity before the coin ended up getting launched. The coin gets launched, and then boom, there you go. So sometimes these things don't have that. And some of these are, like, I'm not familiar with Starknet, so I haven't done any research on Starknet because, like you just said, you can't find anywhere to get it because it's likely not released yet. And I don't know if Starknet is another L2 on Ethereum or if it's its own thing. I literally know nothing about it. So I'd probably follow the communities, figure out what it is, and kind of get an idea of when launch date for those things could be by looking at their socials. But yeah, definitely, you will see development activity on certain chains and stuff, and they have not released like a token or a coin for it yet. So, all right. Happy shortened week, everybody. It looks like we got a little bit more green over here in the market as the stock market has gotten opened. It has shifted a little bit more to the green side. We'll take that. Ethereum at 2,040. XRP, where are you? Doing nothing. 62 cents. Looking over at Bitcoin, 37,300. DXY, 103.58. Total 416 billion dollars. Gold and silver, they've been, silver's only down 18 cents this morning. I was really hoping for a bigger pullback. It was down 35 cents during the market opening, now down only 18. So it looks like metals are starting to pull back a little bit. The stock market's definitely improving now. You got the Dow Jones up 80 points. You got the S&P up 10. You got the NASDAQ up 62. And then you have Coinbase leading the way over here in the stock market. Coinbase, Arc, and Meta, followed by the losers of the day so far being Caterpillar, Roblox, and Tesla. We do have a few more in the red here, it looks like, this morning. The big weird, almost seems like that was like we just all got played. I'm telling you, when my Smeldar is going off, that something odd is happening with Microsoft. Like they became like the biggest investor in AI. Then they just seems like they kind of blew up the company practically and brought all the people over to Microsoft, and they're going to build a Microsoft AI product is what it feels like. It feels like they try to become like big owners of OpenAI, then destroy it, and then bring all the people over to Microsoft to build a Microsoft AI product. That's what I'm smelling here. But again, I know nothing. I'm some dude on the internet just watching, but I don't watch with an eye of being like what I'm seeing is real. There's something is going on here, something bizarre. So we'll see what ends up coming of that. Otherwise, happy shortened week. Shortened week to everybody. Good opportunity to take a breather from the markets. They'll always be here. And hopefully your family thinks you're a genius when you sit down and talk crypto this year. That's not so bad like it was last year. Last Thanksgiving, we were dealing with FTX, right? Yuck. So, okay. We're going to wrap it up. You guys look for something to do today, look for something to do throughout the extended weekend. Of course, check out all the videos over here on bcbacker.com. Check out the newsletters. Super, in my opinion, mega alpha statistics have been running here. It'll be eye-opening, and it gives you resources to go check out to do some research. And yeah, I hope that you all have a wonderful week. I will get started on a video and hopefully have it out by this afternoon. It'll be a busy week for me until Wednesday. Then I'm throwing up the peace sign and saying, I love you all, but I'm going to spend time with my family for a few days. And then we'll be back on Monday and we'll all be singing Kumbaya. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could, please like this live stream and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice, and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.